It's a very good question, and it has a history within the CGIAR system, and even I think with many of the national programs. So there are 15 international centers. They've made some of them made tremendous impact. For example, CIMMET and IRI in wheat and in rice research. But we need to follow now more a systems kind of approach, integrating all these things. So one of the director generals of one of the CGIAR centers in the past, he made this beautiful statement. He said, a lot of the technologies that we develop in the CGIAR, but also quite a lot of the other centers, a lot of the technologies that we develop are on the shelf. And maybe that's where they best belong. So the punchline is the last sentence. It says that a lot of technologies we have developed have not been adopted by farmer communities, pastoralists, and the reason is that we weren't targeting it properly. We were targeting it, and let me describe it as follows. A solution looking for a problem. So let's say I'm a breeder and I develop a wonderful variety that has heat tolerance. Then I go around the different countries and I say, have you got a heat problem? Would you like to have my variety? What we're saying is that we should use a concept called following the impact pathway backwards. So that means we go all the way first to where we want to have impact. We talk to the farmers, the pastoralists, we talk to the processing industry and to the consumers, and they identify what kind of materials they would want, what kind of water harvesting techniques they want, irrigation systems, what kind of sheep they want, what kind of milk and yogurt they're after, and what kind of constraints they have, drought and heat and soil issues. When we know that, then we determine what should we then do in terms of developing an outcome that will be helpful to these farmers. If we know what the outcome should be at the national level and at the farmer level, we then say what should then be the output of the research agenda for us to deliver that and to have that impact. So we're following the impact pathway backwards. Once we know what the output of the research should be to have that final impact, we then go one step back as researchers and we say, what is the research needed to develop that kind of output? Now we are right on target. And let me give you an example. There was an article published last year by Gordon Conway, which is called Who Feeds the World? Girls. If you go to Asia and Africa, you see a lot of women and a lot of young girls in the fields taking care of crops and also doing a lot of weeding. So when the crop is growing, you have weeds growing in between, you need to pull them out. These girls should be in school. They should be getting ready to become teachers, doctors, plumbers, poets, painters. They shouldn't be in the field. The boys are often in the school. The girls are not allowed to go to school for cultural reasons. Now, if that is the issue, and we're looking at how can these girls develop their full potential, we need to develop ways that they do not have to spend so much time in the field. So for this one example, taking weeds out of a growing crop, there's actually something in plants that we call allelopathy. And some of you that have seen eucalyptus trees, there are certain eucalyptus trees, around those trees you don't see any weeds. Basically nothing grows. For several meters around the tree nothing grows. The roots will exudate chemicals into the soil that will either kill or prevent germination of these weed seeds. Now we know that also in some of our cultivated crops there are some of these genes, but we haven't paid enough attention to them. So if we could develop a chickpea variety or a barley variety that when you plant it and the weeds want to come up, it prevents them from germinating or otherwise limits their growth, then we have less weeds in the field, there's less weeding needed, the girls don't have to go and do weeding, and there'll be more opportunity for them to go to school and to reach their full potential.